Nostalgia makes us all dumb sometimes. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Carolyn. If you're new here, welcome, hello. If you're not already, please consider subscribing down below and like this video if you like it while you're watching. And yeah, today we are doing the 21 questions makeup tag. I don't know who started this tag. The person I saw do it was Ava Tews, so I will link her channel below. And I thought it just sounded like a whole just bundle of fun. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so the first question is, what is the oldest makeup product you own? I'm pretty sure the oldest makeup product I own is this Sleek Silhouette palette from Coastal Scents. I'm pretty sure I've had this since 2015. So like 6 years. Oh my god, I'm old. So it's just like a basic like face palette. You've got some blushes, some like matte highlight shades. One of these fell out. I don't know what that used to be. You got some contour, some bronzer. I remember I painted myself pink with this shade one time. So they're really pigmented, which is nice. The blushes are super pigmented, but the formula is questionable. It's just not super blendy. So yeah, I just don't use that palette anymore, but I like have held on to it for, I don't know, nostalgia? Nostalgia makes us all dumb sometimes. But yeah, that's the oldest makeup product that I still own. So the next question is, what is your most recent purchase? So my most recent purchase that was not like a repurchase type of thing, just like stocking up, was the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I have a whole video on this. I really like this powder. I think it's a beautiful powder for dry skin, and I do think the packaging is really cute. I did a little product shot with this that was really fun. But yeah, it's just a super nice, like, little bit of a smoothing powder. It's pretty undetectable on the skin, and I've really been enjoying it. So it was a good purchase on my part. The next question is, what is the first makeup product you ever used? I'm gonna guess, I don't remember fully. It was probably either like a CoverGirl mascara or something, or the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. I'm sure, you know, my Zillennials, cuspers remember the Dream Matte Mousse from Maybelline. What a time, truly. We were just all out there looking like Donald Trump. Like, we were all orange. I don't know why anybody let us do that, truthfully. I wasn't somebody who really wore foundation like on a regular basis in like middle school, high school, but I remember buying that for theater. And they told us to do like a super heavy foundation that was a little bit darker than our skin tone, so it like we wouldn't get washed out on stage. And oh god, we were all looking a hot mess. We truly were. Oh my god. So that's the first makeup product that I at least like remember using. Oh, it was pretty bad. Makeup trend you used to love but now hate. I don't know if I could think of anything like super specific that I now hate that I used to love, but the one thing I can think of is nose contour. I was never like super into nose contour, but I was always just like fascinated with it, and I did contour my nose sometimes, and I thought it was like really cool. And it still is, like, I think it's definitely shows a lot of interesting like cool techniques. But I can't be bothered anymore, truthfully. And I also think like a lot of times nose contour is very much like to each their own, and I think everyone should do what they want with their own face, but I think that this idea of a really like snatched nose is very much like centered around Western beauty standards, and like it really perpetuates this idea that a beautiful nose is like a really slim nose, and I disagree. So yeah, I just like have a bone to pick with nose contour, and I also just can't be bothered. Like, I really can't be bothered. But like sometimes I'll throw a little bronzer on the side of my nose, but it's more just to kind of like tie everything together. It's not really to do a contour. So yeah, that's just one, I'm just over it. I don't have the time. Unless I'm really trying to do like I'm trying to look like somebody else kind of thing, I'm not contouring my nose. The second one is a makeup trend you used to hate, but now you love. For me, that's a really dark lower lash line. I used to like barely put anything under there, if at all. But now, like, I love like a nice smoky lower lash line. I think when done well, like, you know, it can look a little 2007, okay, if done not correctly, but like a nice smoky eye with like a really dark tight line and some lashes, and then a nice dark smoky lash line. Oh, it just looks so beautiful and sexy to me. Like it, I really enjoy a smoky dark lower lash line now. The next question is, what is your favorite step in your makeup routine? For me, it really depends on like the type of makeup that I'm doing. But for the most part, I really enjoy doing my base makeup. Like for me, like it's a really calming experience. Like it's not, sometimes when I'm doing my eyeshadow on my brows or whatever, like I'll get frustrated. With my base, it's not that, it's just so easy, and it's also really satisfying, like seeing the whole face just kind of come together. I also do my base after my eyes typically, so it's that like you've worked hard on this like eyeshadow if you're doing some kind of complicated eyeshadow or whatever, and then you can just see everything kind of come together with the base. I really like a nice dewy skin. I really enjoy doing my base makeup. I just think it's a really satisfying experience, and it's relaxing, and I enjoy it. A makeup product you can't live without. For me, I'm gonna go with brow gel. Probably like a nice tinted brow gel is what I would say. I originally had put down concealer, but I think it's brow gel, man, because to me there's no point in putting on concealer if you're not gonna have brow gel. I'd rather have my dark circles in full flame than my brows be limp and lifeless. So yeah, tinted brow gel, man. That's the one product. That's the one product I would have with me on a desert island. Well, I probably actually wouldn't give a shit on a desert island, but that's the one makeup product at least that, like, it's like the one thing I'll throw on if I'm not wearing any other makeup type of thing. The next question is, what sparked your love for makeup? So I was a really like creative person in high school. I was never really good at visual art like ever, but I was really into choir, I was really into theater, and I really like, I'm somebody who very much needs some kind of creative outlet. And after high school, I was really sort of looking for that, and I started experimenting a little bit with makeup. That was just a really good creative outlet for me. And so I had been doing like a little bit here and there, but I wasn't really super into it. And then one time, like, I had an eyeshadow look on, and it was super simple. I was using like a Revlon little quad. It was just like a nice smoky eye. And my coworker at the time was like, "Ooh, that's really pretty." And we started talking a little bit, and she asked me if I had an eyeshadow primer, and I said, "No, what is that?" And she said, "Oh my god, it's amazing. Like, it'll keep your eyeshadow on like all day or all night." And I was like, all right, I have to try this. And then she actually bought me the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which I still think is a phenomenal eyeshadow primer. Like, I think definitely if you need your shit to like stay on, that's the way to go for sure. But she bought that for me, and I tried it, and I was like, oh my god, so cool. And then I was like, I wonder if they have like face primers and stuff like that. And so I started just researching a little bit more, and then I bought like my first big eyeshadow palettes. I bought 2 Coastal Scents palettes, which I don't have anymore, but I mean, they're cheap, and you could get a lot of colors for like pretty cheap. So I started doing that, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with like the art form of it. So yeah, eyeshadow primer is what made me fall in love with makeup. I know it sounds super silly, but it just, that's what happened, and here we are now. What is the worst makeup look you've ever done? Oh, there's been so many. This is hard to say because like most of the makeup looks that I really don't like, they don't end up on social media. I let them die, you know? One I remember pretty vividly was for Halloween a few years ago. I tried to do this like Willy Wonka zombie, and I painted myself like purple, and I had these like pustules, but then I tried to like put chocolate in there because like candy, Willy Wonka, and it just looked like I had poop on my face, and I hated that look. I hated it. It never saw the light of day, and it never will, okay? Never. There's been tons of makeup looks that I look back on now. I'm like, that could have been better, more well thought out. But yeah, most of the makeup looks I hate, I don't post. So that's what I can think of, and it forever will just live in my little noggin. Favorite makeup look you've ever done? Probably my favorite, they're actually like ironically both kind of Christmassy looks. But I did a collab with Plainly Chloe on a Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future. I didn't actually have a future, but we did Christmas Past and Present, and I did Christmas Past, and I did this like really cool like editorial like red look, and I made this like candle headpiece with hot glue that I painted, and then I put there was like an actual tea light in it, and my husband lit it for the pictures. So I really like those photos. I really loved that makeup. I love that style of like editorial weird makeup. Oh, I love it so much. And it was like nice and blown out, and it was really cool. I really liked that makeup look. And then the other one was my Snow Miser, Heat Miser look, which I did like a half and half, like winter themed and half and half like summer heat themed. I just really liked how this look turned out. I liked the photos. I made this like headpiece for it, and I glued all sorts of things to my face, and I just thought it looked really cool. Like I don't think it's like the most technically impressive makeup look I've done, but I just really liked how cool it looked, and it was a really fun makeup look to do. So yeah, those are my two favorite makeup looks. Favorite drugstore makeup product, to me right now, that is going to be the NYX Brow Tint Pen. I've been using the shade Brunette. I was using Espresso, which I think is too dark for my brows, but now I'm using Brunette, and I really liked it. It's a really great, precise product. I find that I can get a really like full, fluffy looking brow with this, or I can do something today, which is just like a quick and easy brow, and this is really nice to just like throw a tinted brow gel in and then just fill in the little sparse areas. It's super precise. It's a brush tip. It's affordable. I really like it. The only thing is sometimes like the ink can build up a little on the tip, so sometimes you have to kind of wipe it off before you go in, but overall really great product. I use it every single day, and yeah, I highly recommend. The next question, and opposite to that, is what is your favorite splurge makeup product? And I am gonna say the Auric Smoked Reflect eyeshadow duos. I really love the Glow Less too, but to me that type of complexion product, for me, I will spend $40–50 on. Like, I don't care. I'm like, yes, give it to me. But something like this is not typically something I would spend that much money on. I think this is in the $40 range too. I typically wouldn't spend that much for two eyeshadows, especially like a cream shadow, but I bought this when Auric first launched because I was just excited about the launch. I wanted to try it out, and I almost didn't buy it, but I'm so glad I did, because this is such a beautiful cream formula. I'm actually wearing it on my eyes today. It's so pretty. It's so easy to blend, and it lasts all day. It doesn't wear off. I don't know how she did this, because it is a beautiful, moussey, creamy formula, so blendable, and yet it is long lasting as hell. Like, it's magic. It's magic in a little pot. I love it. Now, it is more sheer, I think, than it looks in here, so that's something to keep in mind, but you certainly can build this up. But yeah, that's what I have on, and then I did put the little topper on. The topper shade is like, I think is really pretty. I'm most impressed by the cream shade, but I think they work really well together. It's got this gorgeous reflect, looks so pretty in like direct sunlight, and this tapped over top of the cream is just beautiful. So yeah, this is my favorite splurge product. I want to get the other shades when they come back in stock. I think Ego is in stock. Maybe I'll buy it, but I don't know. When I have money, I want to get the other shades, because this is just such a beautiful formula. I wear it like constantly. Like, any day I'm not doing like a crazy makeup look, or like that I am wearing just like my everyday makeup, this is what I'm using. I absolutely love it. It also plays really well with powders. I wore it the other day over top of some powder eyeshadows, and it worked beautifully. So yeah, I really love this formula. I think it's absolutely worth the money. And then my most repurchased product is the e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel. This is my favorite brow gel. I'm constantly repurchasing it. It just keeps your hairs in place so well. This is my last step in my brow routine, and it keeps them up all day. No other brow gel I've found has been able to do that for me. And this guy is also like $2. And it's dual ended, so one side is technically a mascara, but I just use them both in my brows. And it just keeps my brow hairs looking nice and fluffy and just tall. Is tall the right word? I don't know. It is a little bit crunchy, which I don't personally mind, but if that bothers you, keep that in mind. But it just is so good at holding the brows in place, and I have repurchased this over and over and over again. It does run out pretty quickly, I think, but again, it's only a couple bucks, so totally worth it for me. Next question is, what is your earliest makeup memory? I don't know. I have a horrible memory, honestly, and my mom doesn't really wear makeup. She didn't really as a kid. Like, she's kind of like maybe a little mascara and blush type of person, but she didn't really wear makeup. I know that was a lot of people's like first experience with makeup, but not I, Popeye. I don't know. So my first like experience with makeup that I actually remember is probably during theater, and hence the cakey Maybelline foundation. But I also just remember like the god-awful eyeliner. I remember like having to do the boys' mascara because they had no idea what they were doing. Neither did we, but you know, they had less of an idea. But that's probably my first experience with makeup, and even like with doing makeup on other people was in theater for sure. Like I obviously knew what makeup was before then, and I had maybe worn a little bit, I don't really remember, but that's the first like memorable thing that comes to mind. Next is, what is your favorite place to shop for makeup? And this, I really don't know. Part of me wants to say Ulta because I do like the selection of drugstore products they have, but they really don't carry a lot of my favorite high-end brands. And I think Sephora just has more variety in that aspect. I'm sorry, and I'm a bougie bitch, I know. So honestly, I think I'm gonna say Sephora. I have the app on my phone. I just think the shopping experience is really nice at Sephora. I order online mostly. I also worked for Sephora for about a year. That was the most I've ever shopped in store there, but I don't know. There's just more variety to me in terms of high-end makeup, at least, and they're expanding more too. They've added like quite a few brands that are a little bit more affordable, which is really nice. Still not like drugstore price, but like, you know, in that like $20-$30 range, or sometimes less depending on the product. So I don't know, and I just feel like they keep adding a lot of like really new and exciting brands, and I think that's really cool. The high-end brands that are at Ulta, I'm just not that interested in. I do love their drugstore selection, so I would say probably going in store, I prefer Ulta. Shopping online, I prefer Sephora. I don't know, I also just like their website better. I think it's prettier, it's more functional. They've got their shit down when it comes to that. But then again, I also now, like, I've been really wanting to explore more indie makeup and indie brands, so I've been shopping more on that side of things as well. So yeah, I don't have a clear answer. That's what you're gonna get. The next question is, what is the most underrated makeup product you own? And this may shock some of you, but it is the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer. This is a beautiful concealer. So I was really hesitant to try this for like a long time because it is very high coverage, and to me, that in my brain, I'm like, cakey. That's gonna be so cakey, it's gonna look so dry, it's not gonna look good on my skin. I was wrong. This is a beautiful concealer. It's got a super pretty natural finish, and I think the thing with this one is that, like, if you were to use it the same way you would use like a more medium or sheer coverage concealer and just like slapping it on, yeah, it is gonna look heavy and thick. However, because it's so high coverage, you only need the tiniest bit of product, especially if you're just going for like a medium coverage look. And because of that, because you're using less product, it looks less heavy under the eyes. It doesn't look heavy. It looks a lot more undetectable. Like, I have like the tiniest bit on today, and I feel like it definitely helped conceal my dark circles, but it looks really natural under the eye. It's not looking dry, it's not looking heavy, it's just looking really pretty and seamless. So I think this is a beautiful concealer. I think you just kind of have to know how to work with it, and you really just want to start out with such a small amount because you don't need much, but because of that, you're able to use less product and it's gonna look less heavy under the eye. And the formula is really great too. It's not too matte and drying. It's a nice like satin finish. I use this almost exclusively on all of my clients regardless of skin type, and it looks beautiful on everybody. So I think the best way to apply this is to put a little on your hand or on a palette and pick it up with a nice dense concealer brush. That I think works best for me, or even a sponge if you want to share it out a little bit. So yeah, but that's why I think this concealer is underrated. Okay, next question is, what is the most overrated makeup product you own? And we have another concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So I know the original Camo Concealer is also really popular. I decided to try the hydrating one because I have dry skin, and I have a video trying this and the Camo CC cream out. First of all, I don't think this is hydrating. Like, I really don't. Like, it's fine. It's not like horribly drying, but it just doesn't look great under the eyes. It still looks pretty dang matte, and it just looks a little bit dry on me, even though it's supposed to be hydrating. So this isn't really hydrating, and I don't feel like it's very good coverage. Like, I think the coverage is pretty average, and I'm like, okay, well, if it's not gonna have a great finish, then I at least want it to have good coverage, and this has neither, whereas the Huda Beauty concealer has both. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like this. I know I got a lot of hype for a while. I can still use it. It's like passable, but it's just not my favorite, and I really don't think it deserves the hype. Okay, the next question is, what discontinued makeup product would you want to bring back? I think you all know what I'm gonna say. It is the Becca Under Eye Corrector. Now, the product itself isn't discontinued, but the brand is going out of business, which means we're not gonna be able to get that product anymore, and I'm upset. I forgot to bring it down here with me, but I have a little bit left in my pot that I'm going to use up, and then it'll be gone forever. But the Under Eye Corrector, it's just such a beautiful formula. It's super, super hydrating and creamy, which I know is not everybody's jam, but for me with super dry skin, I love that. It has a really nice, the light to medium shade at least, has a really, really nice light peachy tone, so it helps conceal those blue tones without looking super like bright under the eyes. Like, it's something you can use on its own and it's not gonna look weird. It's just a beautiful formula. I also love it under more matte concealers. It helps bring back some hydration. So yeah, that one I'm definitely sad about, and I wish they would just continue with just that product, because that's the only thing I care about. So I will say though, like, the shade range on that product is absolutely abysmal. Like, there's a light medium and a medium to deep shade, which is really like a light medium type of shade. So their shade range is abysmal. They definitely should have expanded it. And you know, because of that and other things, I kind of see why Becca's going out of business, but I am really gonna miss that product because I love it so much. The next question is, where do you go for makeup inspo? I go to a lot of different places. So part of it is seeing other artists like on Instagram and other social medias and stuff like that. I also follow a lot of like pro artists like Danessa Myricks, Katie Jane Hughes. I really love both of their makeup styles. So I get a lot of inspiration from other artists, but I also get inspired by things like music. A lot of times, like, I'll hear a song and it will inspire me to do a makeup look. I don't know if that makes any sense, especially for like Halloween looks and more creative looks like that. I definitely get inspired by music. And then other things just like, you know, like nature and things like that. Also really, really inspire me, like other art forms. Yeah, like other art forms basically, whether it be music or paintings or drawings. Those also really inspire me when it comes to my makeup. Next question is, what do you hope to see less of in the makeup industry? And I definitely think that we have a problem with overconsumption, but also overproduction of makeup. Companies are really, really pumping out makeup very, very, very quickly. And they're saying, oh, well, we're keeping up with the market, we're keeping up with the market. But everyone I've seen talk about it has been like, just pump the brakes a little bit, okay? So I don't think it's really what consumers want, and it's super bad for the environment, and it creates a very much overconsumption mentality, especially because like for creators, it's like, oh, well, I gotta do this right now, I gotta get it right now or else it's not gonna be relevant anymore. Speaking on that, like, the amount of like limited edition stuff that's, I think a lot of times is creating this like false sense of scarcity when it comes to the product, so people feel like they have to buy it right away or else they're gonna miss out on the product and get that FOMO. So yeah, I really don't like that. I really don't like the way that the industry is heading in that regard. And the next question is, what would you like to see more of? And this kind of goes hand in hand with that question, is I would like to see more well thought out, innovative products. I think like the Auric collection is a really good example of this. I thought they were both really beautiful, very clearly well thought out products that were something different. They were something new to the market, and that's just something I think we've really been missing for a long time. So I would like to see that. I was gonna say cream blush, but I have gotten my wish because everybody's making cream blushes right now, and I'm living for it. Honestly, I wish I could try all of them because I love cream blush. But that's beside this point. And the other thing that I would like to see more of is more focus on the environment, more sustainable packaging, just less waste in packaging, more refillable products, more recyclable packaging, that kind of thing. I would really like to see brands put more of an emphasis on environmental sustainability, particularly brands that sort of use that as a marketing technique, like the clean brands definitely employ that like thing, well, it's clean so people think it's good for the environment, and that's not always true. A lot of them have really unsustainable packaging. Not true across the board, but I would like to see brands in general, but especially those clean brands that are relying on that sort of mentality to sell their products, to actually put in focus and money and time into being more environmentally sustainable. So that's what I would like to see more of in the makeup industry. That is all of the questions. Again, I'll link Ava's channel below, and if I can find the original creator, I will link their channel below too. I'll also have all the questions in the description. I'm not gonna tag anybody specific, but I'm tagging all of you. Not because I'm lazy, but because I want all of you to do it. Clearly. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you all again soon. Bye. Got my Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. I'm pretty sure the oldest makeup palette, my most recent,